Hi, my name's Jared Elkin and I'm the director of Between Good Men. Between Good Men is a story about two Civil War soldiers, one from the north and one from the south, out in the desert in New Mexico surrounding the events of the Battle of Valverde. Martin, the soldier from the north, is sent out from his fort at Valverde to search for Confederate movements. There, in the desert, he meets Stanton, the soldier from the south, who is also a scout. When the two men meet, they begin to fight, until they hear a horrible scream from a woman off in the distance, and that's when the story gets interesting. For as long as I can remember, I've had an extreme passion for history, and ever since I started film school, I always wanted to find a way to combine my undergraduate history degree and my film school degree. Attention to detail in these types of situations is paramount. So many movies today will sacrifice historical accuracy where it becomes inconvenient, and that's not what we're going to do here.
I'm Paul Stone. I'm in the history department in the Humphrey School of Public Affairs at the University of Minnesota. I'm particularly interested in this subject because of two things. First is the location, which is New Mexico, and it's sort of the greater Rio Grande, Pecos River Valley. In a time of the war in which there were particular developments in this sub-theater of a theater of operations, which were really quite crucial.
To date, there have been several movies about the Civil War, but very few about the war in the West, which is an underappreciated theater.
I like the attention, as I'd seen his treatment of this, to the details of landscape, what kind of colors, what kind of textures. The West, which is not thought of as a Civil War locale, was in fact an important but still limited locale in the early years of the war. The fact that he has these two, this federal combatant and this Confederate combatant, dealing with an affair of morals and of honor and the protection of someone, it seems to be really significant in terms of issues in the war, in large part because we've taken away the human quality from seeing the Civil War. Later one thinks only of the Civil War vis-a-vis Tennessee or Virginia or Carolinas, or especially with Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. But to see it in New Mexico or in Arizona or rumblings of it in California, I think are quite significant. But I haven't actually talked to anyone in the last decade, or certainly half-decade, who's proposed and who's capable, who's a filmmaker of doing something with this. So the combination of the limitation, the brevity, the specificity of the film, and having the actual locales really make a difference.
No matter how many Civil War movies I see, I never get tired of them. And the reason I want to make this movie is because of its universal message of morality, the difference between right and wrong. As you can see here behind me, we found some excellent places to shoot. With all kinds of terrain at our disposal, we can get any kind of location that we need to make these scenes happen. The terrain is perfect for the partially rocky and partially desert terrain of the New Mexico area. Because this is a period piece set during the early 1860s, costumes and props are extremely important. Aside from that, we also need equipment, water, food, because we are out in the desert. Beyond that, there are also post-production costs to be considered, such as editing, color correction, and sound design. Of course, we will keep you updated throughout the production process with information on the cast, the crew, location choices. We want you to be just as much involved with this project as we are. As you can see, our location's locked and most of our crew is in place. All we need now is you to help us make it happen.